Hello, New Mexico. Hello, America. Hello, throughout the world. I'm Henry T. Coming to you live from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Wow, it's a beautiful day here. It'll be about 96 degrees here today and barely any wind or breeze. So pray for a little breeze this afternoon here in Las Cruces, New Mexico, just down the road about 3 hours to the south of Albuquerque, where they say the climate is the best literally in America. It seems like it's always Gulf weather there. Today it's going to be near 100 degrees. I doubt if they have as much breeze as we do today. But down there sitting right now in a large, comfortable, air-conditioned home, and he made all that money to buy that beautiful home when he was a star with the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 70s and 80s. This guy, a competitor, started all his career in high school, of course, great running back, the famous all-world coach, Warren Woodson, who was an All-American coach at New Mexico State University, saw him play football one day and said, man, I like his competitive spirit. He could be a running back. And then brought him on scholarship to Aggie land. And then decided one day, one afternoon, he doesn't have a kicker. Well, let's have a tryout. All you guys over there come and kick. Now you guys there come and kick. And Roy Gerela won the kicking contest that day. Did you hear that name? Does that ring winning into your mind? Championships for sure. The famous kicker of the Pittsburgh Steelers, all-pro kicker, all-world at New Mexico State. He's with us today, sitting in his beautiful home in Las Cruces. We go now there. We're going to go there with Zoom. All these sophisticated electronics brings you the world-famous Roy Gerela. Roy, good morning out there in Cruces. How are you, buddy?
Very fine, Henry. Thank you for having me on.
Man, it's good to
be on your show.
Thank you. Hey, you look like you're in kicking shape today.
Well, I try to do the best I can. You know, I'm staying healthy and staying safe and working out a little bit and lost some weight and feel pretty good.
Hey, your last competitive game, your last game for the Steelers, what year?
That was 1978.
Wow. Well, you're still looking that football shape. You've taken care of yourself. How you've done that?
Well, been doing a lot of golfing. Plus, instead of doing a lot of jogging, I'm doing a lot of walking. I walk about 2 miles a day.
Beautiful.
Then I come back home and I do some exercises and keep myself flexible, and I feel pretty good.
Man, the list of names that were your teammates with the Steelers, Mean Joe Green, Ham Lambert, Terry Bradshaw, Stallsworth, Lynn Swan, Franco
Robin, very well, very well. Robin's a great guy, great person, and smart, intelligent, speaks very, very well. I think he was a motivational speaker for a while, but he's a wonderful human being and wonderful. Robin and I were friends. We chummed around a little bit together in Pittsburgh, but we always talked about New Mexico, the rivalry between the two schools and how he loved to play against us and vice versa. And Robin was a great player too, just that he was playing behind people like Jack Lambert and Jack Ham, but he played on the special teams and he didn't care to him where he played as long as he played.
Great football player. There were some big moments for Steelers. I'm going to recall one right now and find out where you were literally physically on the field when Franco Harris made that magical catch.
Henry, before that play, Coach Snow called a timeout. The offense came over and he called for the field goal unit to come over as well. He told the field goal unit to go down to around the 20, 25-yard line because if we're going to throw a pass, there's no timeout left. And if we don't get on the field quick to try the field goal, time's going to run out. So we all went down there. I was on around the 24, 25-yard line, and that play happened. And Franco just happened to go with the ball that was thrown downfield, like he does in practice. And he practiced that routine where every time the ball was thrown downfield, he would run downfield to get not for conditioning, for conditioning and for you never know what's going to happen. And on that one particular play, we saw the huge collision between Frenchie Fuqua and Tatum. And to this day, I don't think anybody knows, especially those two guys, because they hit the hell out of each other. And the ball, Franco caught a shoestring catch. Henry, I was right on the 24, 25-yard line, and I saw that it was a clear catch. There had to be maybe about 4 inches of clear daylight between Franco's hands and the ground. So that was a clear catch. And so the Raiders thought it was the ball bounced off the ground. And so everybody relaxed, started walking off the field and thinking that the play was over. Franco took off down the sideline and he outran the secondary and won the game. But I was there, I saw it all, and I saw the daylight between Franco's hands and the ground. That was a great catch, and in fact, to this day, they have a statue at the Pittsburgh International Airport when you come down to the baggage area of Franco making that catch. It's a bronze statue, and it's simulating that catch. It's a wonderful sculpture.
Wow.
It's beautiful. Every time I go down there, I always pat Franco on the back and take a picture with him and carry on.
How about that? What was the reaction in the stadium, as you recall?
As I recall, the owner, Mr. Rooney, the chief, he was on his way down the elevator. He thought the game was over because on the last play, he didn't think that we would be able to score from our 30-yard line. And he missed that play. But the reaction of the before the play was, everybody was standing up. You can hear a pin drop, and all of a sudden, close to the count, you can feel the roar. And all of a sudden, when the ball was thrown, there was a big gasp. And all of a sudden, a collision, but with Franco trailing that ball and catching it before it hit the ground and scoring, outrunning the secondary for the Raiders. People were jumping over the rails and on the field was covered with people, Henry, and we had to kick the extra point because that was the NFL rule. And so a lot of fans were still on the field, but they cleared that area off for the extra point to be executed.
Unbelievable.
It was like an invasion on the field, Henry. And
You know, that play is still alive today. And there's not a day that goes by that Franco doesn't have to answer a question about that play. Is that accurate?
It's very accurate. No matter where he goes, no matter where he goes or where he travels, that play is always brought up. But Henry, I tell Franco, that was a super catch, and I said, I know you practice this all the time in practice. The one time paid off. I says, and you scored 6 points, but I scored 7. And so that was the game. That was the difference in the game. Franco just kind of backed up a little bit, and he says, "You're right."
And kickers sometimes are isolated players, but with you, you're right in the center of all the attention because you earn that spot. Your productivity as a player in crunch time earn the respect of all your buddies on that team, the millions of Steeler fans around the world. You were not isolated. You were part of the mainstream Steelers. From my vantage point, it appeared like that. Is that accurate?
It's very accurate, Henry, and I think that I can contribute that to two things. Number one, it was a fan club that supported me that wanted to have that fan club Gerelas up on the stadium wall, and I didn't want that, and I told them that, but they went against my will, and I said, do it for somebody else. Franco, Lambert, Joe Green, these guys Terry, these guys are going to be future Hall of Famers. And no, they said, we haven't had a kicker in Pittsburgh forever. It looks like you're going to help us. But just the name Gerelas rings the bell, and we're going to support a kicker that really doesn't get much recognition.
Wow.
And so I said, okay. I said, whatever you guys want to do is fine, but let's not make this a profit thing. Okay, any money that you generate off this thing, give it to charity. Number one. Number two, Henry, I give a lot of credit to the Steeler organization under the Rooney family. They welcome all their players so graciously, and they welcome you in as part of their family, and they treat you that way. And so you know what, this inside, you want to give something back. It's a sense of belonging.
Yes.
And that's what they portrayed to everybody. Plus, another factor, when I first came to Pittsburgh, Coach Lowe was very honest with me. He said, Roy, he says, you will be my kicker for this year. And the key word there is this. Nothing's guaranteed, okay, which is okay. And he says, and the best thing he said was that, Roy, we don't have any coach here that can help you. I can't help you. I can't help you. None of these coaches can help you. Soccer style kicking is a new thing. Nobody knows anything about it. He says,
you're basically on your own.
He says, Roy, he says, I only want you to do one thing. Be ready for every Sunday. He says, you can practice the way you want to practice and just be ready for every Sunday. And I says, Coach, I says, thank you very much. I said, I'll do everything I can to thank you for this. But I'm thankful that I coached myself. There had to be a reason why the ball's going left to the right or line drive, and I knew all that. But those factors there gave me the sense of belonging to a great family and organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My goodness. When you have sellout crowds every game, and the Steelers mandated ticket sales across the whole league. Every time you played, I mean, it was a packed stadium, no matter what stadium. And on national TV, primetime game, the Steelers are who you are. You've earned that respect position across the country. So you were always in the limelight. And with that, kickers have to be ready for the extreme limelight. I mean, there's seconds left in the game. You're down by 2. You got to go and kick the winner, or you got to go tie the game, or you got to go do something that's miraculous. At all times, it feels like you're under the gun. With your disposition, with your competitive nature, how did you handle all of that pressure?
So Henry, it's a good thing that I played football in college as a defensive back because it taught me how to compete. It taught me how to fail. And it taught me how to come back and redeem myself. From the high school level, playing offensive defensive back, on the college level, playing defensive back. And so you enter a game like it's just like practice. Henry, I only have 1.2 seconds to get the ball off from the snap to the kick. And so Bobby Wall, my holder, I said, Bobby, I said, let's go, man. It's, just get, let's get the spot. And I said, Bobby is just like practice. That calmed me down. Okay, that calmed me down. And I took my time and zeroed in on my targets. And just to be able to know how to go onto the field and to compete and to calm yourself down, even though the butterflies were stirring up in your stomach, because they're all important. And so that gave me a big edge, I think, as far as knowing how to compete, especially in tough times, especially when some days you don't really feel like you want to be on the field. Pre-game warm-up sometimes, you have a lousy pre-game warm-up. And then in the games, man, everything clicks and you hit everything. Jan Stenerud once told me, Roy, he says, we're playing against Kansas City. He said, Roy, he says, pre-game warm-up is just what it is, just a warm-up for the game. He says, as long as your mind is right, coming onto the field for the game, during the game, it's a different story. He says, just be ready for that.
When you see kickers in the National Football League today, and they miss 2 or 3 in a row, it's odd for them because they haven't missed all season long. And the announcers play on and say, gee, what's happening? This is odd. Here's his stats. We were watching it before the game. He was knocking them in from 63, totally down the middle. But then that one moment comes, or that one, say 30 minutes comes in his life where he can't drop it over the crossbar. Can you explain the mental part of the game, what deteriorates within the confidence or physically in a kicker at those times?
I think Kerry, what happens there in that situation is you're struck with extreme nervousness, and when your muscles become tight and your knees are shaking a little bit, and your alignment is not quite up to par, and your kicking is altered to the fact that you're kind of guided instead of kicking it, makes a big difference. And I think just that one moment of pressure divides a lot of us, and that kind of divides as to who can come in. It could be a 27 or 32-yard field goal. Think about everybody you're going to make it. All of a sudden you push it right or push it left. And there's reasons for, I can understand the mechanics of why they miss, okay, right and left. And I see it on TV every Sunday, okay? And also when they hit a great, I can also see the mechanics because they show the back view. But the average fan just doesn't know the adrenaline factor, the nervousness that attacks you at that moment. Crucial.
So what happens? You miss one and that startles you. And then, oh no, I missed the second one from the 27. I missed the first one from the 30. Now you're worried if the team is losing confidence in you. Do those factors enter into the moment?
Henry, yes. Guys give you the eye, like, you're walking on the field and they just kind of turn their head. They don't say anything. They just, their eyes talk, Henry. They don't need to say a word. Their eyes talk.
Wow.
And that's more hurtful in a way, or harsh than talking. And so, Henry, I've been in that situation where I've come into a game and I missed my first one, and like I knew mechanically what I did wrong, and so your next one, you got to forget about it. As long as you understand what you did wrong, you can always correct it in your mind and go out there and do it. But you bear down. You bear down and say, "Hey, I'm better than this." Blah blah. It's just that's just one. I'll get 2 or 3 more chances. I'll make them all. That's where you got to think. That's where you got to come back, and that's the difference between the guys that can or can't.
The incomparable Roy Gerela, former Aggies star and former Pittsburgh Steelers star. But let's look at our sponsors there. We'll be doing our America Talk It Up coming up here shortly. But thank you to all of those people, including the Hydro Bar and Indigo Mortgage and Ben Lucero's out there. He's watching right now. He watches every move we make on this show, and we appreciate all of you. The Canteen and Kevin, special hello to you. He's a big Aggie fan out there. I'm sure that he's happy seeing Roy Gerela today. Believe it or not, Roy, we have a lot of Aggies watching the Henry T Show. I've done a lot of broadcasting for the Lobos over the years, but deep in my heart, when the Aggies are playing anything, I'm watching. There's something about being at Memorial Stadium for me, being in that stadium broadcasting, being at the Pan American Center. I love that place. And deep in my heart, I am a true Aggie fan, with that exception of that one day when you guys are playing the Lobos. So I just want you to know, every time they're playing, I'm with your teams. But every time you played on that Steeler lineup, and every time in Heinz Field or Three Rivers, I said, there he is from New Mexico, number 10 in the program, number 1 in your heart, Roy Gerela. So I want you to know where I stand, okay, Roy?
Wonderful, wonderful. Henry, when I was playing in the pros every Sunday, what I would do is I would get a program and always look for my name on the list, on the roster list. Then I'd go across to the name of the town that I came from in Canada.
Wow.
Powell River, British Columbia, Canada. That's what they had written. And then I go to the college, New Mexico State University. Henry, that would just send goosebumps up my arms, because I realized how far I came, being the 10th kid, and I'm the 10th child in the family, the youngest, and we're very poor, but how I got this far. Every Sunday I would do that, and that would just put goosebumps on my arms, just to appreciate the fact that I look back to where I came from, and then my experiences on the high school level in Hawaii, and at New Mexico, being an Aggie at New Mexico State University, and the fond memories I had there. And Freddie Glick, my defensive backfield coach, was Houston Oiler, who got me to kick in front of their scouts, got me into the NFL, and I know that. But to look back, Henry, I could have gone around the world with my sister and brother-in-law, who I lived with, but I turned that down that one summer so I can stay back and prepare for my senior year of college.
Give me the most intense situation you were ever in as a kicker. The game, the situation, the time, the score, how many people were in the stands. Be as dramatic as you can, and keep your composure and tell us where, when, and what happened.
Your question again, Henry, was what?
The most intense,
Okay.
most dramatic field goal or extra point you ever were faced up against.
I think, Henry, we probably playing in the AFC Championship game against the Oakland Raiders. It was a kind of an icy field and very, very cold day, extremely cold day, windy, a little bit of rain coming down. And before that night, there was ice all over the field, and the ground crew scraped it off a little bit, but it was still icy. And wore a special shoe from Canada that the curlers wear on their feet when they run on the ice to throw that rock down. And I wore that to give me the like suction cups on your shoe, and that's what I wore. And to kick 2 field goals, I think one was something like 38, and the other one was something like 30 some odd against the Oakland Raiders in that game, where Franco caught that immaculate reception. We were ahead in that game, or we were 1 point back. It was 7-6, and we're trying to get a field goal. But Franco's catch, he scored, and we won. And that extra point at the end, I think those 3 kicks there, all in one game, with what was on the line, what the score was, and what it meant to the team, I think that scenario there was probably the most tense situation I've been in.
Wow.
Because everything counted. Nobody can screw up or make a mistake.
Did they hoist you on their pads and pick you up in the air?
No, that was Franco.
They ever do that for you?
I kicked a couple very important field goals, and they crucial moments when things weren't going good for the offense, and they would surround me and give me a hug or pat me on the back and congratulate me and all that. Yeah, but never hoist me up in the air. No.
Oh, hey, did you ever watch Fox and listen to Terry Bradshaw in his element? Funny, entertaining. He is, like they say, he's always a hoot. How about your relationship with Terry Bradshaw? What's he like?
Henry, my locker was right next to Terry's for my whole career, because our locker was by numbers. Terry Henready was number 5. I was number 10. Bradshaw was number 12. Joe Gilliam was number 17. And that's how we were. And so I used to, Terry has a lot of different kinds of moods. And he's a great athlete, great ball player, blah, blah. But sometimes he would say, Roy, he says, I can't go anywhere. He said, can I come over to your place and maybe we'd get something to eat and visit? I said, sure. And so Terry would come over, bring his guitar with him and lay on the floor, play the guitar and sing. And for about 15, 20 minutes, we talked a little bit and play a little bit more. We talked a little bit. In the meantime, we ate really well, gave him a steak and whatever. And he says, home, he says, about 10 o'clock, he said, I got to go home and see you tomorrow at practice. I said, okay. Here's a guy that really couldn't go out anywhere because of the fans.
Yeah.
And so put myself on a pedestal above anybody else as to where I should be as far as any kind of huge award or honor. I'm just thankful that I played the game for as long as I did and lasted for as long as I did and actually did what I did. To me, Henry, that was enough. But to walk down that corridor and to get that ovation at at the induction New Mexico Hall of Fame, I was so overwhelmed that, Henry, I actually had goosebumps on my arms and asked myself, why me? Why me? But it's going to put me amongst all these people that I've seen as I walk down the corridor, seeing all their pictures on the wall. And I said, someday a young kid's going to see that, who's a soccer player or whatever, and they're going to say, hey, I can do that too. And hopefully he can at least earn a scholarship someplace and maybe move on to better and higher and better things. And that was my main concern. But to be amongst those people, Henry, it's still not a shock, but it's just a huge honor that I really, really deeply have a deep place in my heart for it, and for the people that voted for me, and it's just a big blessing, and it's a blessing of my career. The payback in a way that I'll never forget that night ever for as long as I live.
Wow. We won't forget it either, Roy Gerela. And I'm sure occasionally you go back, and because you live in Las Cruces, do you go out and watch an Aggie game occasionally?
Henry, I go out there and watch every game the Aggies play. And it's always nice to go out there and see these kids work so hard and give it all they got, with hopes of going to the next level. And some kids have, and Denvis Mans, and he had a chance with the Dallas Cowboys, and but now they know one thing about the game. The game is very fast, and it's played by big people that can run just as fast as you.
Wow.
And linebackers running 4.4, 4.5, and running down a running back.
And before we go, Roy, Chito Reyes, the former New Mexico State Aggie basketball fan, Hall of Famer down there. He and his buddies played in the Final Four in 1970. Chito wants to join you right now, Roy Gerela. Chito, good morning. How are you? Let's see if we can make sure that Chito is there. We'll hook him back up here in a second. One thing, while we hook Chito Reyes back up,
I can't hear Roy.
There's Chito right there.
There you go.
Can you hear Chito a little bit?
I can hear him. I can't see him though.
All right, Chito, say hi to your good buddy, number 10 of the Steelers.
Hey,
Chito.
Roy Gerela. How you doing, Roy?
I'm very well. I'm trying to stay healthy and safe like you, Chito.
Hey, you know what? Roy, when you were playing in them all nationally televised games, boy, I was bragging on you, man. The people didn't believe me that I knew Roy Gerela when you guys were playing the games. But I was the star of the room when I told them that Roy Gerela was my partner. But Roy, it's so nice to. I don't mean to cut in on your time, my friend. I just wanted to say hello. I've gone down to Las Cruces a couple of times and for a couple of events, and I missed you. I've heard you were in the building, but I missed you. But I just want to say hello, Roy, and I just want to congratulate you on all your wonderful accomplishments, man, and the life that you had, and an example you had for everybody there in New Mexico State, and especially for me, man. I was a big fan of yours. I still am, you know.
Good.
I just want to say hello, Roy.
Thank you, Chito. Chito, you're a good basketball player, good star for the Aggies whenever you play too under Mr. Coach Henson, and you did a great job and great competitor. I enjoyed watching you play when you were with the Aggies and giving those Lobos a tough time.
Yeah. Hey, Roy, listen, like I said, I'm not going to cut in on your time, but but I just want to say that you have always been. Henry. I've never met anybody such an assuming and humble superstar that walked around back when he was already when the Pittsburgh Steelers. He'd come back to Las Cruces, and this man was just very humble, and I always admired that about you, Roy, because you and also you coached at Gaston. I went to Gaston for up until the 9th grade, so you were like yeah. So, but anyway, I just want to say hello, Roy, and I want to once again I want to take this opportunity since I missed you the other times,
Yes.
but and you take care. Hopefully, next time I go down there, we can hook up a little bit. But I just wanted to say hello. Okay, Roy?
Well, thank you, Chino. Sounds great. And Gadsden's a great school, and you represented them very, very well.
Thank you, Roy. Henry,
Wow.
thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to say hi to my partner, Mr. Roy. Okay, you guys take care.
Chito Reyes, an Aggie basketball fan. What an honor for him to get on Facebook and see you on the show, and for him to make that effort to talk to you today,
Yes.
Roy.
I much appreciate it. And Chino's been a fine gentleman as long as I've known him, and always a happy and upbeat person, and very competitive and smart individual, and very unassuming, and great person to be around and talk to, and really enjoyed him a lot.
You Aggies are always hanging out together. You know that?
Small town. We can't.
Amen. Hey, when you go
guys
back,
later. Thank you.
thank you, Chito. Chito
you,
Reyes. Thank you, buddy.
Okay,
When you go back to Heinz Field for programs that they have special, hey, let's bring out the guys that made it happen back in the day, and they take you around the field in a convertible or however they introduce you. How are you received, Roy? Number 10 is back on the field. How do the Steeler fans treat you on this day during the current era?
Yeah, Henry, I've been back a few times. We had celebrations of Super Bowls 9, 10, and 13. And they brought us back for the long weekend with Sunday going to the game. And they would introduce all of us on the field during halftime. And we all lined up across the field, and we individually just stepped forward and raised our hands. And it was shown on the big Jumbotron too as well. Henry, all of us got a thundering applause and appreciation from the people. I think they were standing up, applauding us. I don't think anybody was sitting down, and they would applaud us for all the years and the Super Bowls that we participated in, and to see us come back.
Wow.
For that one game. Again, every time I think about that, Henry, I'm getting goosebumps on my arms. Just thinking about that affair, and all the guys getting together on the field before the game and talking with the players and the coaches, and it's just an awesome moment that it's really, really memorable, and again, never always remember these things for the rest of my life,
Roy, where do you keep all those Super Bowl rings?
Well, Henry, I have one on my hand here.
Let's see it.
Can you see it?
No, raise it higher. Wow. That is big time.
See, Henry, there's.
Wow. What does it say on it, Roy?
It says Pittsburgh Steelers World Champions, 1974.
Woo. That is remarkable. Check that out.
That's the
I
first
won't
one.
ask you where you saved the other ones, but congratulations on your possession of something so rare.
That's the side of the Super Bowl ring with Super Bowl on it, with the scores below it. And on the other side,
beautiful,
is your name with the Steeler logo on it, and your number below the logo.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first with one diamond in the middle, that's a 1 carat, 3/4 carat.
How much does that thing weigh? Is that heavy?
Everybody thinks it's heavy, Henry, but when I put it on my finger, it feels pretty light.
Hey, you gave us all a big thrill today, Roy. Really and truly. When I tell people, man, number 10 is going to be on the show, Roy Gerela is going to be there. I know our fans are inundating right now Facebook just to get a glance of you. All those Pittsburgh fans, it's so good to have you, Pittsburgh fans, with us today, and New Mexico Aggie fans as well, to honor this man, to bring him back through Facebook. Thank God for Facebook, Roy, so we can do these major miracle tricks on television. It's fascinating what we can do today.
It is, and technology has come a long ways. And I think if we would have had technology and social media in our day, I think we'd all be in trouble.
Hey, one little quick side show here. The little boy that was in that Coca-Cola commercial with Mean Joe Green, what happened to him in life? Did anybody ever keep track of that little guy?
Yes, in fact, what happened just recently was there was a special meeting between that boy and Joe Green, I think within the last year.
Wow.
And they hooked up at some convention or some engagement that Joe was involved with along with him, as far as how they put that commercial together. And, I think they talked back and forth as to how things were at that time compared to now, what they're all doing. But they made that one attempt to get together. And I think that was a special hookup, probably by the Steelers or Coca-Cola. And
I hope that not only is that the legacy of that little boy, but also helping the legacy of Mean Joe Green. And I hope, with endorsements and what they're all about monetarily today, I hope Coca-Cola took care of both of them for the rest of their lives, because that commercial alone inspired, there it is right there, inspired the youth of America. Wow, check that out.
Exactly, and I sure hope so too, because they both did a tremendous job. I think that was the best commercial made that year.
Wow, perfect timing. And
Henry, one thing, Henry, do you realize that Joe Green played for North Texas State? Dwight White played for North Texas State. Robin Cole played, my day. Terry Bradshaw played for Louisiana Tech, and we played each other when I was with the Aggies.
Yes.
I used to ask Terry and Joe about those games that we played. In fact, I remember the time where we played at Louisiana Tech. Terry Bradshaw was probably the biggest guy on the team, and he threw a pass to Tommy Spinks, the wide receiver. He threw it over the lights from his 20-yard line down to our 10 or 15-yard line. I said, Terry, you threw the ball so far and so high. I says, nobody saw it except the wide receiver. And he started laughing, and he said, oh, yeah, I remember that. He said, we beat you guys too, didn't we? I said, yeah, you did.
Roy Gerela, I wish we could go longer. We exhausted all of our time here, but what a pleasure for me as a professional, long-time career in this business, and having the pleasure on this special day to visit with you, a man I've admired as an Aggie and certainly as a Pittsburgh Steelers, and then recently getting you to know you because your induction into the Hall of Fame. What a big honor for me on this special day. Thank you, Roy Gerela.
Henry, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and I enjoyed it, and it's always a great time to be on your show.
We'll do it again.
Absolutely.
All right. Maybe down at Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces the next time.
That sounds great. Anytime. Anytime, Henry, anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Do you have something to say to all your Aggie fans as we say bye today?
Well, I just want them to stay healthy and stay safe and enjoy the up and coming season. And the Steelers, I think they're going to have a shot going all the way. So there we go. Go Steelers.
Hey, a couple of years ago when the Aggies went down to the bowl game and won it, what were your thoughts on that special evening?
I thought it was a great effort on all the players coming together as one. And I remember that one special play at, I forget who they played, the last game of the year, where that wide receiver made a diving catch in the back of the end zone, caught the ball before it hit the ground, and that one play alone won that game for the Aggies, that put them in that Arizona Bowl. And just the hoopla of the fans and get behind that team was nothing I've never seen before happening at Aggie Memorial Stadium. And,
wow.
And then the following, just the people just followed that team all the way to Arizona. There's more Aggie fans than there was Utah State fans. And just to see that happening was awesome, because not only were they waiting for so long for something like this to happen, but the enjoyment, the excitement, the thrill of the year that they gave the Aggie fans was tremendous. It's such a great thing to see. And hopefully this year they'll go back to another bowl.
Hey, how are you taking care of yourself during this period of the coronavirus?
How, Henry, I've done more work around the house than I thought I ever did, but I run a few errands. Only place I've been, Henry, during that initial period of time was if I had to go see a doctor or a doctor's appointment or food store, or that was about it, because everything was all shut down. And I just did my walking and I'm the one that can't stay in the house for a long period of time. I've got to get out, or just get in my car, go for a drive, and just roam around. But I never had any problems, and I never wore any mask until I had to go to a food store. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty healthy, Henry, I think, and I'd probably be pretty lucky enough to have contacted it. And,
Amen.
I just
Well, I wear mine, and I have an extra one for you, Roy.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Well, have a great day. Thank you again for all the time, and I mean it. We'll see you again very
Yes, sir.
soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it today. And thank you to our producer, Jimmy Tran, for all that he did today, the remarkable video that you saw come up on the screen, so timely. And I hope you enjoyed this special time with Aggie and Steeler Hall of Famer, Roy Gerela. That's going to do it today on the Henry T. Show. And there's our sponsors that make it happen. Add in there Chuck Jackson, Action Jackson, Jackson Compaction, and Canteen, and the Amistoy family. Are they terrific? We're going to have them on soon talking about their horse racing spectacular story. Ruidoso, New Mexico, synonymous with Amistoy Drywall. The Amistoy family have been for years, will be forever. And Indigo Mortgage, great fans of ours as well. Wow.
your surprisingly great rates, contact